In this bone tutorial, we'll take a look at the sesamoid bones that are in the distal limbs of the equine and the bovine. So here I have that standing limb skeleton of the equine, and so we're on the medial side, taking a medial view so that you can see the sesamoid bones. So I'm going to turn it to a caudal view so you can see there are two proximal sesamoid bones there. So here they are right here. These are the proximal sesamoid bones. And sometimes they're just called sesamoid bones because the other sesamoid bone is actually the navicular bone. So that is the distal sesamoid bone, but is most often referred to as just the navicular bone. So that's going to be down distally. So we'll talk about these proximal sesamoid bones for a minute. So the proximal sesamoid bones are paired, and they have an apex proximally. So here would be the apex and the apex. They have a base distally, so the base is down here. Base, and apex. And then you have some different surfaces that you're supposed to identify because you have an abaxial surface. So abaxial would be out here and then out here. So the lateral side and the medial side, but they're on the outside. So abaxial are on the outsides of the bones. Then you have a flexor surface where the flexor tendons are going through. So the flexor surface is here. So the flexor tendons are coming down, flexor surface is here. And then you have the articular surface. So that's actually what's articulating with the bones, the cannon bone and P1. So that articular surface, I just have a pair of proximal sesamoids that I'll show you here. So here are the sesamoids, and I'm going to flip them over so that you can see this articular surface. So that articular surface is very smooth, so it looks different than the other surfaces. So then we'll just take a quick look at the navicular bone. So navicular bone is the distal sesamoid bone. And this is a boat shape, or so they say. So it's navicular is referring to a boat shape. The navicular bone, we have an articular surface as well. So if I flip it over, you'll see this very smooth surface right here. That's the articular surface. So that's what's articulating with the bones, so P2 and P3. And you have that articular surface is smooth, and then the flexor surface is kind of a little bit rougher out here, but that's also covered with a bursa, the navicular bursa. But this is the flexor surface. The proximal surface is going to be the flat side. So here would be the proximal surface of the navicular bone, and then the distal surface would be the bottom of the boat, so the boat shape, the U shape on the bottom would be the distal surface. So now we've switched over to a bovine skeleton so that we can look at the sesamoid bones in the bovine. So here you're looking at kind of a lateral and caudal view of the distal foot here. But we wanted to look at the sesamoid bones. So the sesamoid bones are very similar to the equine. However, they are doubled because there are 2 digits instead of 1. And so you have 2 sets of these proximal sesamoid bones. So here we're missing 1, but here's another one. Here's the 2 on the other side. So you have 4 altogether in a row. So here if I hold up this one, you can see here's the toes down here. We're looking at these proximal sesamoid bones. So there's a row of 4 all the way across. So 2 for each digit. So those are the proximal sesamoid bones in the bovine. Then the distal sesamoid bones, the navicular bones, you can see down here between P2 and P3. And so here you have a navicular bone, and then on the other side you have a navicular bone as well. So right there, and then one on the other side. So only 1 navicular bone per toe, but the proximal sesamoid bones are doubled.